Hi guys, today we're going to do this super cute green look for spring. So just starting off with a clean face, I'm going to prime with the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. You just want to smooth it over the face and then press it in afterwards. So I'm just taking it anywhere where I have pores or texture. Next, I'm using the Milk Makeup Highlighter in Lit. It's a stick cream highlighter, and I'm just taking it over the high points of the face, so just the cheekbones, brow bone, and the cupid's bow, and then just blending it out with a foundation brush. Using a foundation brush helps this denser formula blend out way easier. So pretty. Then I'm using the e.l.f. Highlighting Concealer in medium beige to color correct, and I'm just taking it over any area where I have darkness, so that's around the mouth, nose, and eyes. And blend it out with a sponge. Do something different and conceal first, so I'm mixing the Covergirl Undercover Concealer with the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer, and I'm just mixing two shades that I have to get a highlighting shade. So just apply it in like an upside down triangle shape underneath the eyes, along the bridge of the nose, a little bit on the forehead, chin, and cupid's bow, and around the nose. And then just blend it out with a sponge. So the purpose for doing concealing and contouring, which I'm going to do later before foundation, is that once you do apply the foundation, it creates a really seamless and perfect blend. So just under the eyes, start to blend it from the edges and then blend the inner corners last. You just want to give it a little bit of time to set down so it stays at the fullest coverage there. And then just going in with extra coverage where I need it. This is an age-old makeup artist trick to do concealing and contouring underneath the foundation. And then for contouring, I'm taking my Makeup Revolution Fast Base foundation sticks, and I have depotted them in this really lovely View Set palette. It makes it more accessible, and I'm just taking the F16 and F18 shades, mixing them on the back of my hand, and then with a dense synthetic angled blush brush, I'm just taking a little bit on there and stamping it onto just underneath the cheekbones, and I'm going to take it over the forehead as well. And using a brush like this instead of drawing on lines and then trying to blend it out, it makes it way easier because it's not going to dry down and make it patchy. And this way I get an even application. So you can see as I'm laying it down, it already does start to blend it a little bit on its own. So just continue to do that with the brush. Then taking it on the forehead. It looks a little bit crazy now, but honestly it just turns out so beautiful at the end. And then going beneath the jawline as well. I'm not putting a lot down there because my jaw is already pretty chiseled. But yeah, I just want to create a little bit of depth and shape and even things out. And then on a smaller brush, I am also contouring around the mouth, and I'm going to do the tip of my nose as well. And contouring with cream around the mouth helps you to get way fuller lips than you would with just using a darker lip liner, and it looks less fake. And the tip of my nose. My nose already has pretty dark shadowing on the side, so that's why I just get the tip. Make it look cute. Just blend it out with a clean brush. And then using that same angled brush, I'm just taking it with no extra product and blending out the edges of that contour. Next, with my Nars Radiant Longwear Foundation, I'm mixing it with my NYX Green Primer to get the olive shade that I need. And then I'm going to use a stipple brush to just stipple it on, which means you're patting it onto the face repeatedly and letting the fibers of the brush blend it instead of sweeping or dragging. So I'm starting in the areas where I don't have any foundation, and then I'm taking it onto the edges of where we put that contour, and then when there's the least amount of foundation left on the brush, I take it over the deepest parts of the contour. This way I just make sure it diffuses really well and it doesn't take away the depth of the contour. Just stippling it on where we don't have foundation, and then lightly taking it over the edges of the contour and ending with the least amount of product on the deepest parts of the contour. And you'll see that I'm leaving the under eyes without any foundation because I want to keep the brightness of the concealer there. And you can see it looks like you've almost just blended everything away. But once you're done, you'll see that it leaves a really lovely, natural, subtle contour to the face. If you're a beginner at contouring and highlighting, this is a really fun and easy way to do it with the least amount of mistakes. And then just pouncing everything in with a damp sponge to make sure that everything is blended. Mix my Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder with the banana powder just to make sure that it's not too white. Just smoothing out the creases underneath the eyes. And then I'm using a damp sponge and just pressing that powder in underneath the eye. The dampness on the sponge really helps to meld the powder into the concealer. Leaving some extra powder there to bake it, and setting the bridge of the nose and the forehead. And then I'm going to take a fluffy brush and just lightly set around the mouth because I don't want to be too dry and powdery. And then just dusting off the rest of the powder that's sitting on the face. Then taking my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, I'm going to prime the lids. This is going to help me to get a really nice and light base for the colorful shadow, and I'm blending that all the way up to the brow bones. And then smoothing that over, and I'm just going to set the brow bone and crease with some powder. Next, with my Suva Beauty Neutral Necessity palette, I'm taking that white shadow and packing that onto the lid with the dense shadow brush. And I'm going to pack it on there just up until the crease. And then next, taking the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 200 and just going to lightly take it over the places that we've contoured. You really don't need a lot and you don't want it to look too harsh, so just take the smallest amount to add a little bit of definition. And then taking my Ofra Rodeo Drive highlighter and just hitting the places where we did with the cream highlight. Diamond Glow, it's a little bit more frosty. I'm just going to take it to the inner corners of the eyes, a little bit underneath, and I'm going to cover the white of the lids with that as well, just to add a little bit of sheen. And then going to do my brows off camera. And we're back. Then with the BH Cosmetics Bronze Paradise palette, I'm taking that bronzer shade and I'm going to slowly just define the crease with a fluffy brush. And you don't want this to be too deep or too harsh, you just want a light shadowing and then we can build it up as we go. And diffuse it out with a fluffy brush. Taking it underneath the eyes as well, and connecting the outer corners to the bottom. Next, with the Urban Decay Vice 1 palette, the original from like 2012, I'm taking that green shade and I'm starting to kind of blend and sketch out the outer corners of the eyes. I am going to take it in to pretty much 3/4 of the eyes, but we're going to focus it on the outer corners to be able to blend it and build it up in an easier way. So just with a small brush, slowly just blending it and diffusing it into the light. Taking it to the lower lids as well, just the outer half. And then I'm gonna blend it into the creases as well. You'll see here that I start to take it in a little bit more inward towards the nose. And here I'm just starting to pack it into the crease and slowly just rounding it out until we've covered most of the eye, leaving just the inner quarter with the white. And I'm also dragging out the outer edges a bit to make kind of like a wing shape. And then taking that brown shade from the Suva palette, and I'm just taking that through the crease with a fluffy brush to blend everything together and make it look seamless. And then with that yellow gold shade from the Urban Decay palette, I'm taking it over everywhere that I put the green to make it into more of a brighter green shade. And then with that deeper brown shimmer, I'm going to use a smaller brush to just smoke out the lash line. I don't want a liner look, I just want the lashes to look like they're a little bit fuller. So you're not really going to see too much of this brown. Going on the lower lash line as well, just the outer half. And then for blush, I'm using the Milani Rose blush in the shade Romantic Rose, as I've used for this entire spring look basically. And just slowly building that up, starting at the apples of the cheeks and then diffusing it up to the rest of the cheekbones. Curl your lashes. And then I'm gonna use the Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara to build up the lashes. And you really want to focus on the lashes with a mascara here because we're not using much liner or false lashes. So just take your time to build it up by pressing it in well to the base of the lashes and then pulling it through. And I'm pretty much getting all of the bottom lashes as well. I got some mascara on my eyes, so we'll deal with that later. So just gonna line the lips with the NYX Nude Truffle Liner to add a little bit of definition. And then gonna fill in the lips with the NYX Nude Beige Liner. Top that off with the Maybelline lipstick in Beige Babe. And I'm gonna set that all in with my rose blush. And then once your mascara has dried, just take a spoolie and just flick it off. Super easy and not at all messy. And then just blend it through with your shadow again. And that's it, guys, we're done. I decided that my blush wasn't bright enough, so I'm just taking the Milani Berry Amore blush and yeah, just building that up a little bit more. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this really soft spring green look. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel if you want to hang around and see more content. I hope I'll see you guys again soon, so enjoy your day. Bye-bye.